We'll be practicing from the base up through the chakras to the heart. And so this morning we'll use the invocation that I've been associating with the heart chakra. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave. Begin. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave. Chirananda Motai. Nishprapanchaya Shantai. Niralambaya Tejase. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave. Chirananda Motai. Nishprapanchaya Shantai. Niralambaya Tejase. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave. Chirananda Motai. Nishprapanchaya Shantai. Niralambaya Tejase. Om Shanti Om Shanti Shanti. With your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart. Release your hands. Open your eyes. Turn your palms face out, please. So we're going to be using inhale, first third, middle third, upper third, exhale, coming back in to the heart. We're not going to interrupt the inhale, but I want you to sense that sort of purposeful movement where you've got 33%, 33%, 33%, something like that. Okay, so turn your palms face out using the Ujjayi breath, please. These are not your most dynamic movements this morning. So see if you can use a powerful yet subtle form of the Ujjayi. So you'll possibly hear the sound of the breath in your own inner ear, listening carefully for that sound. But if someone were sitting near to you, they would not hear the sound of the breath. You would not be making it that loud on the outside. Please do this 3 times more. And if you're up for it, lightly count the breath to check and see if your inhale and your exhale might be equal to each other. Or if the exhale might be a couple paces longer than the inhale. So 1 more breath cycle. Rest your hands in your lap and just notice the difference it makes, even having one simple concentration and breath practice. So the breath is our communicator between the Annamaya and then the Pranamaya Kosha. We communicate to the Manomaya Kosha, to the mind. So the breath is kind of offering this gateway, this portal for us to go into the mind. And then from the most elegant or concentrated place in the mind, we're able to touch into a more integrated place between the mind and the body. But at no point should it feel like your mind is going to dominate your breath to kind of dominate your body. So you'll need 2 blocks for the next thing. And let's take the yoga blankets that you're sitting on and sit on the left side of your blanket so that you've got your right hip on the blanket and the 2 knees and feet. And this pose is called Bharadvajasana. Bharadvajasana, it's named after a sage. So take the 2 blocks. We're going to keep the right hip on the blanket. Some of you are going to find you can rest your right foot in the arch of your left. Some of you will find it's the opposite, whichever you prefer. Bring the blocks around. So while keeping your right hip grounded, walk the right hand forward and then start just taking the left hand to see how far can you move it to be in line with the right hand. So left hip, drop it back and down towards your heels. Keep the right hip firmly placed on the blanket. And then as you're inhaling, raise your left arm up and look forward. And as you exhale, lower your left hand down and curl the spine somewhat like a cat pose spine. Inhale from your mid-torso, heart, left arm, and then your gaze. And exhale, press into your right hand, so you're coming down towards a cat pose spine. Inhale, glide forward. Start that glide forward somewhere in the mid to upper belly, then your heart, thoracic spine, and your gaze. And exhale. This time as you inhale, reach forward, make it a larger reach, open up, press into your right hand, and then exhale, sweep down and across. Inhale, raise. So keep the right arm and shoulder stable and spacious. And exhale, lowering down, reach through your left hand towards your block. Once more. And exhale. You rise up to sitting in this sort of base position. We'll call Bharadvajasana the base of Bharadvajasana. Then split the knees and the feet to come into Z position. So you've got your left thigh and your right foot. They can snuggle up against each other. Okay, and then come back again, please. Right hand, left hand. Once more, try to keep your left hip grounded so it's reaching back towards the left heel. Press into your right arm firmly, and that's the push reflex. When you inhale, raise your heart, reach forward through your left arm, gaze forward. And exhale, press into your right hand, touch the left hand down like a cat pose spine. Inhale, reach. And exhale, return. Again, please. Use the sound of the ujjayi, so you're staying immersed, like yogurt and honey emulsified. Inhale, this time we're going to reach into that big circle. Keep the right arm stable and spacious. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. This turn, you're keeping the left hip stable, but turn the inner belly, turn the mid belly, upper belly, and then reach forward as you're rising up. So it's a full circle experience. And exhale, come down slowly and reach back to the block. Now walk back up to your sitting position in the Z formation. And listen for what's happening inside. You bring the blocks closer. So you can take the left block here in the center, right block behind. Press down firmly against both. So since you're sitting on a blanket, the blocks can help if you don't have long arms. You already know this about me. So press down into both blocks, raise the torso up and twist to your right. Since this is a more static position, which means we're not moving a body part with inhale or exhale, during this time, I'd like you to balance again your in-breath with your out-breath. So the length of the inhale, the length of the exhale. This is an open twist, so I sometimes like to call it like an aerated twist. It's not a twist that has a bind where your thigh is up against your torso. Notice how you're moving the breath from the deep belly upwards, and also how the exhale returns to begin at the deep belly. Now, to the extent possible, take the back of your left hand around the outside of your right thigh. And then begin to walk the left hand down more to the outer thigh towards the floor. So your pose is going to become a little bit like a forward bend, a little bit of a twist, a little bit of a side bend. Let's bring the back of the left hand under the outer right knee. Place your left palm on the floor firmly. With your right hand on the block, you've got a twist and a little bit of elevation to the right upper quadrant of the torso. Let's bring the breath into the back hemisphere of the body. Keep the right elbow straight as you're able to, so the twist has this elevation for the right upper chest and shoulder. And then release your left hand, glide up, inhale to open. You roll the right shoulder back. And then press down into your right arm. Raise your hips and make an arc like a side bend. Keep rolling the right shoulder back and elongate from your left knee downward and your left thumb upward. And then exhale and return to your seat in the Z formation. Notice any sense of the connection that you can have between your mind, your breath, and your body, emulsified like adding honey to yogurt, and the two become one. Let's go to the other side, please. Put your blankets down your mat. I have the urge to say ding, like a typewriter bar. That must have been quite a sound in those offices where there were lots of people typing at once. The sounds of the typewriters and the sounds of the ding and the sounds of the zzz, where the thing went back. And you place the left foot in the arch of the right foot or vice versa, whichever you prefer. And the left hand comes over, let's slide it out a little ways, and then reach your right hand across while keeping the right hip grounded. And you might find that you have these asymmetries in your body, most of us do, and perhaps keeping the right hip grounded is easier this time, or perhaps it's harder. Press down into your left hand, inhale, reach as you raise your heart and your gaze. And exhale, pressing down like a cat pose spine. Inhale to reach, move smoothly. You can even imagine integrating the breath, your eyes, your arm, your hand, your torso. Everything should feel synchronized and elegant. We'll exhale to go down one more time. In a moment, we're going to have that big circle action. So when you inhale next, leave the length of the breath intact and rise up, open to your right. And exhale, come down and across and through. Inhale, open, synchronize. Your eyes can follow your right thumb. And exhale. Once more, rising up, twisting, and exhale, come down, reach across to the other twist. And then glide back up to your Bharadvajasana position. And then let's take the legs into the Z position, the Z formation. I don't know why I have to use that word, formation. It seems like it fits with the letter Z, like planes in the sky making a formation as some sort of demonstration. Okay, so we're going to take the left hand again back out to the block. Try to keep your right hip connected to your heel or near to there. And again, inhale to reach. It's really from the mid to upper belly, mid to upper lumbar, and then thoracic, mid thoracic, upper thoracic. And exhale like a cat pose spine. Inhale. Now we're going to make a big circle. So use the in breath for the full length of the movement. Follow your thumb. And exhale again, follow your thumb to return. Inhale, raise up. Keep the left shoulder back. Exhale, come down and through. Once more. And then open out with the twist. And rise back up to your Bharadvajasana, excuse me, your Z formation, your Z seat. And place the right block for the right hand and left block behind you. Okay, so press down. Initially, this press down is to lengthen up through the spine, rotate to your left, and see if you can balance your inhale and your exhale together. And then take the back of the right hand, come around the outside of the left thigh. Because we're sitting up on a blanket, for most of us to put the back of the hand there and then come down to the floor, you're going to have this need to lean to your left. Got that, I think left, yep. And then twist upward to the left. Keep the left arm straight. Press firmly down into your left hand so the left shoulder has support. And then press firmly down into your left hand and start raising up. We're going to go upwards, press into your left shin, press down through your right thigh into your right knee, make a little side bend, and a back bend, and a twist. And then exhale and bring this one also back down to your starting position with the Z formation. Rest your hands in your lap. So working with the upper back, chest, and heart like this and these twisting poses, we're doing a couple of things. One is that when we twist, we momentarily we're contracting in the low to upper abdomen, right through here. And so we're giving this squeeze to something called samana vayu. And that fire energy should then go down. So it's digesting food and taking the elimination away. But also we're twisting through the thoracic spine and the heart. So we're loosening up this region of the body where your circulation is going to go a little bit more out to the periphery. When we get overheated, of course, our body is sending that heat out in the form of sweat. Some of you, I don't know if those of you who also have brain injuries experience this with a heat wave, but being too hot for a brain injury, it makes the likelihood of those sort of concussion headaches where too much heat's rising to the head. And so keeping the body like aerated and cool is really important, and also not letting the head get overheated in that way. So we're moving the vayus here to help rebalance the body. When we're doing that, we're also saying, well, how can we rebalance the annamaya kosha, the pranamaya kosha, sense then into the manomaya kosha, and catch a glimpse of the ways in which we over effort or strive or become coercive or demanding with the body, how we become impatient, like some of the things about pitta dosha or fire dosha when it's out of balance. We become like power over or power through or push through or get it done, or we have this urgency or frustration or irritation. And I'm saying we because if you have a pitta dosha in you, we all have all three doshas. You live in a pitta-based society, and it's the pitta time of year. And so the likelihood of some of those things showing up is there, or the likelihood of feeling like, oh, you're not in that rhythm, therefore is there something wrong with you? No, there may not be. So let's take these 2 blankets stacked now, and you're going to lie on your back with your hips on the blanket and the spine also on the blanket. So some of the practices that I'm doing this morning are also what we would think of as cross crawl or cross hemispheric or quadrant practices that help to integrate the hemispheres of the brain and the mind and the body. So when you come down to the blankets, you can just check and see that you can lift your knees up and you're resting on the blankets. You have your hips, your spine, and your head on the blankets. Take the arms overhead and check you've got room for that also. Now, some of you just found out, if you picked up your knees, you just found out that it's actually not that easy to balance on the blanket, which is part of the strategy here. Okay, so let's put both arms down, palms face down. And then as you inhale, raise your right arm overhead. Exhale, bring your left knee up. Inhale, return them both to the ground. Relax with the exhale. Inhale, left arm overhead. Exhale, raise your right knee to your chest. Inhale, return them both. Exhale, relax. Inhale, raise both arms up towards the ceiling. Now exhale, scissor the arms, right arm overhead, left arm down. Inhale to rise up. Exhale, scissor, left arm back, right arm down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, scissor, and turn your nose to the left. Inhale, center your arms and your nose. Exhale, scissor, and turn your nose to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale, scissor, turn your nose to your left and raise your left knee. Inhale, center. Exhale, scissor, turn your nose to the right and raise your right knee. Inhale, center. Exhale, scissor, nose left, left knee up. Inhale to center. Exhale, scissor, turn your nose to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, scissor, turn your nose to the left. Inhale, center. Last one. Exhale. Inhale. Take the arms out into a T shape. Float your knees up to your chest. Roll the shoulders back down towards the floor. And keeping the shoulders back is going to require that you squeeze a little bit the shoulder blades towards the blanket. Please don't let the chin push up towards the sky like a Pez dispenser. So this is your exhale. And then inhale, touch the toes lightly to the floor. Exhale, knees up. Inhale, toes down, keeping the lumbar spine on the blanket. Exhale, knees up. Inhale, toes down. Exhale, raise your knees. Keep the shoulders back. Inhale, toes down. And exhale, knees up. And inhale, toes down. Touch your heels down as well. And relax the upper abdomen, mid-abdomen, lower belly. And imagine the energy moving from the floating rib cage region down into the belly, down into the pelvis. Okay, and then let's either roll down sideways or come up to sit. And then sit on the front edge of the blanket, bring your right knee up to your chest. Take the left hand around your right thigh, right hand behind you. As you snug the right thigh in, just keep your knee in line with your hip joint there. Raise up through your chest, open like you're doing a little back bend. I'm going to ask you to imagine that you can feel the divide between the first three chakras and that transition up into the fourth. Accentuate on the inhale that you are lifting and raising the heart. But on the exhale, I want you to send that fire energy down to do its digestive process, so it combusts the food and sends it downwards. Okay, rotate around to face forward. Now we're going to take, so this is more of an upright torso, and we're going to be leaning back a little ways. We'll go about halfway to 45 degrees, which I guess is a 27.5 degree lean back. You take the back of your left hand now around the outside of your right thigh. And let's practice again that you can have a sense the inhale is supporting the lifting up, the raising up of the heart. But the exhale is, and it has its own pathway, the exhale, but I want you to imagine during the exhale that you're sending the fire energy down. Down from the stomach to the small intestine, down through the pathway that becomes exiting. That is for food becoming metabolized, combusted, digested, and then so on. And then bring that back around to center. Now we're going to go back to 45 degrees. So you're leaning farther back this time. So take your right hand to your block. There you go. Cross your hand over the outside of the knee. Make the right shoulder stable but spacious. Roll back through the upper chest and shoulder there. Notice what can happen for you with the exhale and the ascending colon, the small intestine, from the stomach downward and inward. Okay, and then raise yourself back up, bring your block with you, rotate around to face forward. Okay, let's take both legs straight out into Dandasana and just notice how the hemispheres and the quadrants of the torso are feeling. You might have a sense, for example, on the right hemisphere of the body that energy is now redistributed differently than on the left side. So bring the left knee up, right leg straight out. Take the right hand around your left shin. Walk your left hand around behind you. And as you're twisting to your left, lengthen up through your spine. So the in-breath does begin in the pelvis and it rises upwards to the heart. The exhale has that same pathway, but I'd like you to visualize two pathways of energy inside. The exhale, the actual breath process, is going upwards and outwards through the nostrils. But at the same time, you're sending that fire downstream so that we aren't inclined today to have a too fiery mind where we lean into that frustration or irritation or urgency. You rotate around to face towards your legs, unwinding momentarily. And then we're going to go back 27.5 degrees. So slide your block backwards. Take the back of the right hand to the outside of your left thigh. And as you're twisting across, try to sense what's different here in this angle. What happens for the inner belly or for the pelvis, maybe the left lower back, left shoulder, right shoulder. And breathe in one more time. And then follow your exhale to come around to sit facing forward. Okay, last one, we're going to go back to 45 degrees. So reach around for your block. You can slide it back. Roll the left shoulder back, cross your right wrist to the outside of your left knee. So one of the risks in yoga practice, the risks for back bends, things that we consider to be chest opening or heart opening, one of the risks is that we end up hyperextending the adrenals, the mid-torso, the diaphragm, the kidneys. We end up squeezing too much there to raise the heart. So back bends can increase your sense of fire. Meanwhile, you're hoping to increase your sense of space or umpiness in the heart. You can now glide back up to your seat and come to Dandasana again. Sit up tall and notice what's happening. If energy has been redistributed throughout your body in a harmonious way. And then take both blocks. Come around. Switch. Downward facing dog pose. And inhale forward to plank pose. Exhale, come down to the blankets. Please point the toes. Roll up to cobra pose, slide the heart forward. Exhale, come down to your blankets, curl your toes under. Inhale, push up to plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose, gaze down between your thumbs. Exhale, like a chaturanga dandasana onto the blankets. Please point the toes. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lowering down. Curl your toes under. Inhale up to table or plank. And then downward facing dog. One more time, inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Point the toes. Inhale, raise up, cobra. Exhale, glide down. Inhale, table or plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then lower the knees down and reach back to child's pose. The blankets are here for your head to rest on. And please walk your hands back towards your knees, and let's take the two blankets and set them aside. Okay, so let's see now how we've been moving energy and redistributing it. What would your Surya Namaskar feel like at this point? And I do want you to kind of sense the contribution of the twisting poses into your Surya Namaskar. And please remind yourself, yoga is not a performance. So you're not asking, am I doing better with the poses? But really, what is this experience of integration between the Annamaya Kosha, the physical body, the Pranamaya Kosha, that is the energy body, the Manomaya Kosha, that is your mind, your senses, and your entryway back into Vijnanamaya Kosha, this place where there's an indwelling wisdom. And then a sense of Ananda, where you are connected to that most indwelling suchness. So come to the top of your mat, please. Join your palms together at your heart. Inhale, reaching down, palms forward. Reach out first, middle and upper thirds of the breath. And exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, glide forward through your heart. Exhale, left toes back. Inhale to rise, crescent. Exhale to descend slowly. We're in no particular hurry. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, seal pose, the shape of seal pose. Inhale, up to seal pose. Exhale, plank pose. Inhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, left foot forward. Inhale to rise. Exhale, wide, forward, and down. Inhale, step forward, heart forward. Exhale to deeply bow towards your legs. Inhale, rising up. Exhale to the front. Again, inhale, raising up. Still standing back bend. Uttanasana. Inhale, glide forward. Left toes back. Keeping it simple, rising up. Exhale to send slowly. Deep appreciation for the integration. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale to the shape of seal pose. And inhale to light up the seal pose. Exhale, plank. Inhale, downward dog. Left foot forward. Rising. Sending. Inhale, step forward, heart forward. And exhale for a deep bow to the legs. Inhale, rise up, please. Standing back bend. Hands to your feet. Wide stance facing forward. Coming back to our improvisational dance thing. So come down, please, to Prasarita. Walk your hands forward. Place the hands so they're at least shoulder width apart. So inhale, swoosh your hips to your left. So the right inner thigh, you're going to feel that more strongly. And the left hip will appear to be higher than the right hip. There's a transition that some of you may have forgotten about, so I'll just highlight it. You're going to be turning the right heel in as you step under and through. So let's make that an explicit step. We've taken the hips to the left. Now pick up the right heel and swivel that in. It moves the pelvis further to your left. Bring your body weight forward into your left arm. Step your left foot under over to your right foot and come down to this twisting pose. For the twist, we have the fingers pointing backwards. Roll the left shoulder back. Tip your knees to the right, any amount that they go. And then bring your knees to center, the feet both flat on the floor. Press into your left shoulder, roll the left shoulder back. Raise up through your chest and your heart and your throat. And then raise up with your right arm. Now keeping the left arm stable and spacious, step under and through, return to Prasarita Padottanasana. You now switch your hips to your right and pivot the left heel in. Okay, so the left foot is pointing, let's say 45, maybe even farther out. I guess that's what we call that 135, maybe farther than that. And then inhale, come forward, put your weight into your right hand. Step your right foot under to meet your left foot and come down to the twist. You're looking down. In the twist, roll the right shoulder back and let the knees come to the left any amount. So the twist here is really in the lower body. Roll the right shoulder back for stability. And then bring the knees and the feet back to a stable place. So your hips, both hips are on the floor again. And raise up with your chest and your heart. Look up if you can. And then raise your left arm. Press into your right hand and shoulder. Raise the hips up. And then lower that one down, and you're going to place your left hand and step back with your right foot to Sarahjoy Padottanasana. Walk your hands around to the small of your back, please. Interlace the fingers and roll your shoulders open. And then inhale, rise up to standing. And release the clasp of the hands. We'll go heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, back to center. Okay, let's take 2 blankets and 2 blocks, please. The blankets can be as they have been, folded in the same way. Place them down the length of your mat. And then you're going to take 1 block flat for the upper back and 1 block medium for your head. So you're kind of guessing here. I said this last night in our restorative class too. You are kind of guessing where to put the blanket and the block. So the first edge of the block here is going to be for the base of your shoulder blades. So you're leaving a little extra blanket there. The second block is for the head. And I'm going to recommend actually that you turn the second block lengthwise, excuse me, for my demonstration. There we go. Okay, so watch for a moment, because when you lie back, I want you to have, the first corner of the blocks, the beveled edge of the block, I should say, is at the bottom corners of the shoulder blades. The second block is right here for the head. And what's cool about taking it lengthwise, you scoot the block up to the occipital ridge. But then you take the, one moment, you take the top blanket, make a little bitty curl right under there at the occipital ridge, and then take the legs out. This is like your personal chaise lounge. Take the arms out to the side, palms face up. And put some attention here at the floating ribs, where you want the energy then going downstream. So the fire, it first congeals, contracts, it combusts, and then it sends those waste products down. Nutrients get absorbed, we hope. If you're eating a healthy diet, I hope you're absorbing it. And the fire is to support our metabolism, not to make the mind like a hothouse of emotions. Then the heart is the air element, and this feeling of like how air, what is on the wind or in the breeze, it's very mobile. It goes farther than a clod of dirt can go. So earth is more stable, air is more mobile. The heart can be more expansive. And close your eyes. Invite yourself to rest inward and downward. Allow your body and your mind to rest together. So both are heavy and still right now. Thinking mind, you can imagine, is resting like your cat or your dog does when they're deeply restful. Just watch your body redistributing, recalibrating. The same for the mind, loosening its hold on thoughts of past or future, and resting in contentment the way your dogs and cats do when they are deeply at rest. Again, feel your body going through the process. Recalibration, redistribution. And mind also less clinging, grasping, fervency, less attachment even to past or future. We're keeping a felt sense of the redistribution, the recalibration. We'll be transitioning in a few moments. So the first transition, you're just going to take the curl that was under your neck and release it. And notice what happens at the base of the skull, at the lizard brain. Notice also what happens for your eyes when there's a release at the occipital ridge. And then please transition from your resting position, your supported Shavasana, transition back to your seat where we began together. So glad to see you all. And when you rise up to your seat, come up and place the hands in the first mudra. The sound is lam. We'll do it 3 times, 5 times, 3 rounds. Lam, 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 lam. Lum, 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 lum. Lum, 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 lum. Second chakra. Wum, 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 wum. Wum, 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 wum. Wum, wum. Third chakra. Ram, 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 ram. Ram, 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 ram. Ram, 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 ram. Fourth chakra. Yum, 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 yum. 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 One more. Yum, 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 yum. And rest your hands back in your lap if you like. Please raise your hands up to your heart. And from that note we were singing at the yum, you can listen. Om Ayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivaranam Urvarukamiva Bandhano Mrityormukshi Yamamrata. Om Hari Om. Om Hari Om. Thank you, everyone. So let's install from the gem of your practice here this morning, install that into your heart, how you would like this practice to express itself on this day, in your thoughts, in your speech, in your actions. And place that in your heart, Anjali Mudra, and in your vision, back down near to the heart, and then into your community. And you share it wide in both directions. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivaranam Urvarukamiva Bandhanam Mrityormokshi Yamamritata Om Hari Om. Thank you, everyone. Namaste. And I will come up to see you.